Welcome back to Unwinding Roads. My name is Teddy, and we are in the beginning of a whole new era for the channel. This is my 2022 Jeep Gladiator Sport Ecodiesel, and I traded in my completely built 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 6-speed manual with the 3.6 liter motor in it. Well, this video took a left turn on a straightaway. It is now raining. I actually caught a patch of dry weather, but I realized after I completed the whole video that I didn't get to the meat and potatoes, which is why you guys are probably here, which is the difference between the Sport and the Rubicon and what I had to do to this Sport to make it like a Rubicon. And the truth is, I don't think I saved any money at all. If you're going to make a Sport a Rubicon, you might as well just get a Rubicon. Now personally, I'm in a little bit of a different situation. With my friend's help at Epic Adventure Outfitters, this setup made sense for me. But if you don't have that, it kind of doesn't make sense. Now I'm just gonna rush through this. I'm not gonna waste your time on this one, but we're gonna start with the obvious, the Rubicon suspension. You're not gonna use that anyway. You're gonna throw that in the garbage and you're going to get a custom suspension. You're gonna get some sort of lift. So the money you're wasting on a Rubicon for suspension, garbage. You're not gonna be saving anything there. Where you do save is the fenders. The Rubicon fenders are about 2 inches higher than the Sport fenders. The sway bar disconnect. I now have to get out and, remove the sway bar manually, whereas before I would just push a button. That's a big deal when you're trying to sometimes have the sway bar in and sometimes have it out, which I would do fairly regularly. Front and rear lockers. Rubicon comes with them. I figured I'm gonna be doing a re-gear anyway because I knew I was getting bigger tires. I'd be able to get the lockers at the same time as the re-gear and save a little bit there. Well, not really. Lockers are very expensive. So again, I'm not quite sure it's worth it. Now the big one is the transfer case. The Rubicon comes with the 4-to-1 transfer case. The Sport comes with a 2.72-to-1 transfer case. I notice a pretty big difference, especially when rock crawling. The RPMs are a little bit off, and with this transfer case, it tends to move a little bit quicker. And the axles themselves, when you get the Ecodiesel, they're all the same. We got Dana 44s, front and back. Now this is kind of cosmetic. The bumper is not metal, it's plastic. And it has one tow hook instead of two. Does that make a big difference? I don't know, a little bit. Sliders, you're probably going to get aftermarket sliders anyway, but the Rubicon does come with some. They're not great, but they're there. The hood, fully cosmetic. The Rubicon hood does look a lot cooler than the Sport hood, unless you get a sweet decal like I got. Now luckily there's enough companies out there that have pretty cool switch panels. I went with the Vo switch panel. I think it looks factory. Fits really nice down there, and then I just hooked up my lockers that way. So that part's okay. That's it. Those are the differences. Did I save money? I don't know. I don't think I saved much. I got cloth interior on this one. I could have had something with leather interior. Does that bug me? Not really. I actually prefer cloth interior, although with the dog hair, kind of sucks. Anyways, back to the original video. Let's get going. Why did I switch? Well, in this video, I'm gonna go over exactly why I switched, problems with my old Jeep, and what I did to this Jeep so that it fits me and what I need. And through this process, who knows, maybe it'll help you make a decision on what you should be getting for your next Jeep. Now this video is going to be jumping around quite a bit because I had to do a lot of setting things up first and then going back and doing all the things between getting the trailer, getting the tune, and even getting the truck with the lift. Now my old Jeep, the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, had one major problem, and it's not even its fault. The major problem was this thing. So here we have an off-road pop-up tent trailer. Once my old Jeep was loaded up, remember it was a 6-speed manual, so you lose 2 gears with that. Heading up hills was already starting to be difficult. I couldn't imagine adding another 2,200 pounds to that. So I started thinking, maybe it's time to get another Ecodiesel. If I was gonna switch it, it had to be a silver one, and it had to have the options that I wanted. My family was growing, and we decided to get this thing. So the story really starts here. After doing some research online, we found that Rockwood made an ESP model. and Travelhome RV had some in stock for us to view. So we're over here at Travelhome RV in Abbotsford, British Columbia, and we're looking at all the different options for a trailer that will fit a family of 4 and a dog. Cynthia likes to be comfortable. Theo likes to be comfortable. The dog doesn't care. He'll sleep with me anywhere. Yeah. Especially with wintertime. We need a heater. We need to stay warm. It looks like this is the best option. It's a nice size tent trailer. It's gonna fit everybody. With a few modifications, I think I can get it into some pretty cool spots.
I'm comfortable, like this.
So another thing I like about this particular unit is the table. It'll be big enough to fit 4 of us as we grow into a 4-person family instead of just a 3-person with a baby.
Forest family.
Yeah, forest family.
Yeah, no, like.
We needed a new truck. There she is. My dad had a 1988 silver GMC Sierra for 22 years. I grew up in that truck. I remember as a child walking up to it at the lot, and he asked me which one he should get. I chose the silver one because it had tow hooks on the front. So here we are at White Rock Dodge, and to be honest, I purchased this thing sight unseen. This is the color I really wanted. These guys worked extra hard to find me one that had all the creature comforts that had all the creature comforts that had all the creature comforts that I was looking for. This one does not have the LEDs, but it does have the cold weather package, which is the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, which is awesome. This is the sport model, but we're gonna be paying Epic a visit. We're gonna put that Epic Adventure Outfitters flair on this thing. What do you think, Theo? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Kevin at White Rock Dodge also has the Ecodiesel with the same lift kit I was going to get. Do you like the Ecodiesel?
I love it.
What made you pick that platform over the 3.6?
You know what, for fuel mileage and torque for days. Incredible. By the time you load up the tents and everything like that, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Do you notice much difference with it all on there?
Definitely noticed the difference from stock from day one to by the time we load things up, but it didn't change a whole lot. All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate it. We got to go out wheeling with the diesels.
Absolutely. Let's do a Willys and Ecodiesel trip together.
There you go.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Enjoy it.
Let's go. So, first place I gotta bring it, you know, I gotta come see my friend Chris over at Ecodiesel.
Right, big guy.
Ecodiesel, how do you say it?
EOC Performance.
EOC Performance Parts. And we're gonna be doing some tuning to it. Now there is different levels of tuning, and I'm getting the one that we're not really allowed to talk about. Chris is gonna go over it with me, give me the options. I mean, I don't want you guys to get the right idea, know what I'm doing. Ecodiesel Owners Canada is your one-stop shop for the Ecodiesel motor. Everything from oil changes to full tunes can be done at Ecodiesel Owners Canada. All right, so now it's time that I make a decision on what I'm going to do to this thing exactly. I'm gonna get Chris here he understands these motors and the tuning way better than I do, of course. I don't understand any of this stuff.
I'm an authorized dealer for MR Tuning, so Martin Renaud is the calibrator for all the tuning files that we offer to people. So he's based out of Quebec, 25 plus years diesel tuning experience, knows these things in and out, owns an Ecodiesel. That's how we create the tunes, right? Everything's dyno created.
So I had a Ram Ecodiesel before this, and I had quite a few problems with it prior to seeing Chris. Once I saw Chris, he helped me out with upgrades, and I had no problems with it ever since. So I want to get this one problem-free right away. So that's why we're here.
The first thing most people want to do is get an emissions intact tune. So that means no physical changes to the vehicle other than flashing of the ECU. Things like get you up to 50 wheel horsepower and 80 wheel torque over stock, which is a dramatic gain, right? Especially when you're talking almost 100 foot-pound of torque to the wheels.
That's just stage one?
Just stage one, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the most important part of that is how the EGR changes are done. That's because of how dramatic the soot load is on these engines from the EGR cooler system. Most people just want it turned right off, right? Because now you're just stopping the soot load from going back through the engine to your cylinder head to your oil, which is gonna, you know, create a large soot load on your oil, which means that oil is going to lose lubrication properties because the soot's going to be suspended in the oil from the additive packages, and it's just bad, right? It's not healthy for the engine. Then you get into stuff like switch on the fly and different files.
So let's say this thing was never going to see the road.
So fully off-road.
Fully off-road, it's not even insured.
So like, up here we have laws as well. People think it's legal up here to, let's quote unquote, delete a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not. We have CEPA, which is the Canadian Environmental Protection Agency, kind of like the three-letter word down south, but the Canadian version. And we have air care in different provinces. Not in this province, not in Alberta, not in Saskatchewan, not in many provinces, right? So is it legal? Technically, no. Do they check for it? No, they don't. So you can kind of get away with it, right? In Ontario has the MTO, they literally have roadside checks where they'll get up under your vehicle with a mirror and make sure your stuff is there, and they'll get under your hood and they'll try to plug into your OBD port to check things. Right? We don't have that here in BC, so yeah, if your vehicle's going to be an off-road rig, you're going to put it on a trailer and tow it to where you want to go.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Right? And you want to go off-roading, then, you know, the sky's the limit pretty much. We can remove all the problematic components, open it up for maximum efficiency, maximum performance.
What does maximum performance look like?
So right now, our safe numbers that we've dynoed and gone back and forth over for 6+ months is 80 wheel horse over stock and 140 wheel torque over stock. So you're talking you're 60 wheel horsepower less than a 392 and over 120 foot-pound more than a 392. It's a beast.
Well, I know what I'm going to do. You guys are going to have to talk to Chris to figure it out what you want to do. I'm going to leave all of his information in the description, and you guys can give him a call. Actually, he doesn't do phone calls. I know him. I know Chris.
Sure. If you do a quick 360, you'll see the shop's kind of in pieces right now. And we do have a shop phone line, but it's unplugged. The phones are literally right there.
So yeah, he's still opening up his physical shop. But yeah, sales at ecodieselownerscanada.com. Right, and if you jump on the Facebook forums, you're gonna see Christopher's name pop up all the time. It's probably the most widely used tune and the most happiest customers. I really struggled to find anybody that had anything negative to say about it. So, and personal experience, I've used Chris before. Nothing but good things to say about my experience. New trailer day. As you can imagine, Cynthia's running on 0 sleep. She hasn't slept in about a week. Our new baby, Annabella, has arrived. It was time to go pick up our new trailer. Let's do this, new trailer day. Oh, that diesel sound. Let's hit it. At this point, everything was set up, but my Ecodiesel was still stock.
Are we filming or what are we?
We're filming right now, you're live. You can say whatever you want. We can talk politics, religion, whatever you want.
I want to say congratulations on a great, purchase for that trailer. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Have a lot of fun in that. Make some memories with the family, especially with the newborn. I think it's going to be a really good time.
We're very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good fit.
Absolutely. For what your lifestyle and what you guys are doing, I think it's. I don't think you could come up with a better combination.
We're back at Epic Adventure Outfitters, and this thing is getting lifted.
So we're gonna do 456 Dana gearing in there, because right now you have the Sport, so it needs better gearing for 37-inch tires. And we'll have the Eaton E-lockers in there as well, which is wired up to a nice switch panel inside. So.
And we're gonna put a 3.5-inch TerraFlex package in with drop brackets and adjustable 3.3 Falcon shocks, which for being up here in Canada, it's about the only thing that'll stand up to what we got.
Introducing the Unwinder Tube. Okay, that was a big jump. So just so you know, each piece of this video will have its own standalone video going more in depth into exactly everything that was going on. So for now, we're gonna head back a little bit and we're gonna do the Cole's notes of what happened at Epic Adventure Outfitters to get the lift into this thing. And again, we're gonna be doing a full video on exactly what happened at Epic Adventure Outfitters and what you should do if you're considering getting an Epic lifted Jeep. Whoa.
245, so that's about the same as like, I don't know, a RAV4 or something.
Nice. That's so embarrassing. So we're gonna go with a 3.5-inch lift instead of a 4.5-inch lift. Why, Christian?
So, a lot of reasons is the 3.5-inch is the most common one we do. It drives significantly better than the 2.5 because we're able to use the drop brackets. It comes in at a better price point. If you go to the 4.5, you're gonna need a lot more parts to make it drive the way we would want it to drive. But for the most part, the 3.5-inch does what everyone needs. It'll fit your 37s, it drives great on the road, keeps your center of gravity low, and saves your pocketbook a bit.
And with the new potato, I need to save the pocketbook. Lift day, get it?
Yeah, it's a fun start. Get that all out of the way.
Wouldn't it disconnect on its own when you drop the axle?
Well, but then, you're ripping parts out, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
But, today we're going to try to do it the right way.
Oh, okay. All right.
The drop brackets, yeah, full 3.5 suspension, front and rear. There'll be some spacers going in because it's an Ecodiesel, just because you need that extra clearance for the weight.
We are going with the Falcon 3.3s. I had them on my last Jeep. I absolutely loved them. I used the
suspension softness or stiffness.
Yeah, I use that all the time, whether or not I was carrying gear. Look at that. I can't wait to have that on there. You've already seen what the truck looks like fully built, but today is the day we put the lift in, and I don't have my wheels and tires yet. So we're gonna see what this looks like. It was not leg day today. We just did upper body today.
Teddy, if I've learned anything from the women I've seen on Instagram, squats are very important. Leg day is something you don't skip. What's going on here?
Basically, I just had the small wheel so that we could all see the lift.
Well, that's very kind of you for advertising. We also do wheels and tires.
All right, once the lift kit was in, I had to get some of the old parts back on this Jeep and add some stolen parts that I took from the Trail Destroyer. All right, once the Unwinder 2 was finished, it was time to visit Chris one more time and finalize what exactly was gonna happen under the hood here. All right, guys, so here's an option for the off-road exhaust. So if you were to delete your pieces, you know, it won't be emissions compliant, I guess, I don't know how you'd call that. But this is one of the exhaust systems that we have here. Weight loss program, yeah, exactly. So we do have to be careful with how we say things and what we do because this is a little bit tricky territory to be in. Chris is telling me he's got 4 different options. Let's hear it.
All right, so what you see right there, Ted, give him a good pan of the exhaust, is our downpipe back exhaust for the Jeep Gladiator JT, 2020 to current. So what that exhaust system does is it's your bare minimum requirement to go off-road, let's say, okay? So what that does is it takes your stock exhaust from the downpipe V-band clamp all the way back to just before the rear axle, where it connects to your factory axle back, muffler back piping. So you're removing everything from pretty much just behind your front passenger tire all the way to just in front of your rear passenger tire. Then you have the same option in the downpipe back exhaust, but right back here where it would connect to your axle back exhaust, you'll have a built-in resonator. So that will help reduce drone. Then you have this same exact kit here, which would be a downpipe back kit, but then we also offer an entire axle back portion as well, which we would consider like a full straight pipe, from turbo to tip out the rear of the truck. As loud as you're gonna get, that's as most aggressive as you're gonna get for sound. And then we offer all 3 together in a 4th kit. So it would be downpipe back, plus the resonator, plus the axle back. Right, so you get that full straight pipe with a bit of resonated sound off of it. Some guys really like that, right? Some guys want it to be a little quiet afterwards. I don't think they're all that loud, even without the resonator. But Ted, you'll find out.
So I've heard it completely, I guess, straight piped, and it does sound cool, and it's not that loud. To be honest, if I wasn't hunting as much as I do, I want to have a quiet vehicle, so if I wasn't hunting as much as I do off-road, then that would probably be the option that I would do. And again, these are off-road options. This is if you're trailering your vehicle to the trail, these are options that you can have and not have to worry about it whatsoever. If you're driving on the road, a little bit of a different story, but you're gonna have to contact Chris to find out more information about what you should and should not do. I'll just leave it at that. Cool. Okay, here's something that's very important that people don't understand. I bought this vehicle to tow, and Chris told me right out the gate, don't buy it to tow. It wasn't built to tow. And we've been going over it, and one of the major things that tells you that it's not built to tow is there's no tow haul mode on these Gladiators. So what Chris has done is they've come up with a file that will sort of compensate for that. Not fully, but it does help. So we're gonna go over the different options if you were to get that tune, the different options that you could get for the tune.
So as you can see, your diesel exhaust fluid gauge is now completely empty. Don't worry, you're good.
You sell diesel exhaust fluid.
I've got a bunch of Shell Rotella. If you really need a box, I'll give one to you, but please don't put it in.
Okay.
You don't need it. Okay, so the cool thing about the switch on the fly is the fact that you can switch it on the fly. We're in park right now, obviously, because we're in my shop, but basically all you need to do is you just barely depress the brake, and you take your cruise control plus button, and you press it twice. So you might be able to see here that the DEF gauge went to, let's call it 25%. So what that means is that you're now in the 20 horsepower file. The default file at 0% right there is the econo file. This is the file you're going to start in every single time you start your truck. There is no memory feature, so it will not remember what file you're in. It will automatically just come back to that econo file. So you press it once, it goes to 20. You press it again, it goes to 40. Press it again, it goes to 50. And then you press it one last time and you're in I like the party mode.
And here we are today. This truck is here to remind me of my dad's old truck and the memories I had growing up. Hopefully I can give my kids, my wife, similar memories with this truck. And so please do consider subscribing. We're going to be going on some adventures with this thing, some family trips, lots of family trips we have planned. Spring is in the air, it's go time, it's camping season. And until next time, go away, get lost, and unwind.
Life's like